Dalton Kincaid from the Buffalo Bills. Yes, is my number 8. Again, there ain't no who. Ain't no who. You have some who's on your roster. This is not a who.
Name a who on
this
my
is
roster.
you got some who's. I mean, yeah, you got some who's. You got some who's on yours. Yeah, you overreached with some of yours on here. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's all you have to. I'm giving you the test. Giving you the test ahead of time. All right, that's it. It's basically cheating. Okay, this show should be banned from what we're giving people. All right. So now let's go to our do not draft list.
Travis Kelce from the Chiefs.
He's still wearing the creepy stash.
I think so. He's going to the training camp with it. So who knows?
Okay.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark, and y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
Tavares Jordan. Music, but we have a happy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derrick Thompson.
I'm Diego Thompson.
And who are we?
With Pick'em Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house with a special episode 105 of Who You Got, father-son dynamic duo. Man, we are coming at you from Big D. That's right, Dallas, Texas. We are on the road this week, man, visiting fam, checking out, man, the Cowboys, checking out their stadium. You know, you've been to a few stadiums in the NFL, but you cannot take a stadium tour and not catch Jerry World, man.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
The thing is very impressive. So we had a great tour. Shout out to all the staff at AT&T Stadium. That was great. Then caught the Texas Rangers game. So that was phenomenal. So, man, Rangers got beat down, though, man. They seem to have a championship hangover.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but it's okay. They still have the championship, so it's not too bad.
That's right. A ton of home runs. Man, I've never seen that many home runs hit in a game.
It was crazy, yeah.
That was crazy. But, yeah, man, we're having a great time down here. And, man, shout out to all the subscribers in the Dallas area, greater Texas area. So shout out to all you guys. All right, well, hey, today we are giving you our top 10 tight ends. Okay, it's fantasy football time. We're all ready for football, man. All the messages, everybody's just excited. So we are doing our top 10 fantasy tight ends. We are also going to give you 10 players to not draft. So I've got 5, you've got 5. So we each have 5 players to not draft. These are going to be fairly highly rated players. Okay, so it might be controversial because they're people that we feel that are super, super highly rated, but we've got question marks. And again, if you miss on your first pick, especially your first pick, then there's no way you're going to win the league. Right. So that's what this do not draft list is all about. So you ready to get into it, my man?
Yep, ready to get into it.
All right. Well, hey, before we get into this, again, we've given you our receivers, we've given you our running backs, we've given you our quarterbacks. Now we're doing tight ends and a do not draft list. We typically give tips on how to draft each position in your fantasy league. So for tight end, man, what's your approach for drafting your tight end?
I don't really like to look at tight end until maybe 6th round, 5th or 6th. You can Kelce and Kittle are probably gone. You can still get some good ones there. Yeah, some solid options.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I don't like to draft a tight end early. The exception was in Kelce's prime, in his heyday. You could say, okay, he would be worth it because he put up so many points and he was just guaranteed every single week. But otherwise, you're really missing out on a prime receiver. Prime running back if you take a tight end early. So I would wait, and there's always tight ends that are gems that rise up, right? From, the Detroit tight end last year. There's a lot of guys. You got Ferguson, you've got, Schultz a year or so ago with Dallas that are top 3-4 tight ends that you can get later. So you've got to find those tight ends a little further down. So don't be lazy. Don't just go Kelce, right? First round. Pick somebody who's going to surprise everyone, and then that way you can have a strong roster and win a title or many titles like your boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Now you're ready to move on because we're talking about championships. All right. So let's get on in this, man. So go ahead and give us your list, man. Who's your top? Give us your ranking 10 to 1.
All right, so number 10, I'm going with Cole Kmet, tight end from the Bears. Last year put up a solid about 720 yards, 6 touchdowns. Now I think it's going to be harder for him to, put up a lot of points because they got some new receivers. But I think with Caleb being a rookie, he's going to look to that tight end a lot, especially since the Bears line isn't the best. So, I have him having a good year, number 10 tight end.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 9, I got Dalton Schultz from the Texans. He had a good year last year. I think he's a good tight end, but then they added Stephon Diggs,
yes,
of course.
Diggs.
They also added Tank Dell. Tank Dell got injured last year. He's going to be playing more. So Dalton Schultz is going to be like the 4th option, so I don't know if he's going to put up the same numbers. But I have him at number 9. Number 8, I have T.J. Hawkinson from the Vikings. T.J. Hawkinson from the Vikings. He was put up the number 2 tight end stats last year. But this year, the QB situation is the best, so I don't know about.
You say his QB situation is not the best.
Yes, it's not the best.
Right, but you still have him as your number 8.
But last year he put up the number 2. He was the number 2 tight end.
Ooh, okay, all right.
So I have him sliding 6 spots all the way to 8. So yeah. Number 7, I have Jake Ferguson from the Cowboys. He put up a good year last year. Was Dak's go-to guy, and have him having another good year.
Dak loves to hit his tight ends, so that's the key. You want to look for the tight ends where their quarterbacks like to target their tight ends. So I look at targets a lot as well. So if it's a guy that is only getting 2-3 targets, but then maybe gets a touchdown here and there, that's not enough targets for me because you're guaranteed to have 0-point weeks with that guy. So you want someone that gets at least 6-7 targets a game. So
all right, well, number 6, I'm going with Evan Ingram from the Jags, between Jaguars. He put up some good numbers last year, a lot of touchdowns, about 900 yards. So he had a really good year for them. And I think, Trevor has hit him in the last few years, gave him a lot of targets. So I think he's one of the more consistent tight ends. He can put up big weeks, have a lot of touchdowns. He can put up, if you're in a bonus league, that he can put up a lot of bonuses. So I have number 6.
that's key.
Good spot. Number 5, I have Mark Andrews from the Ravens. He's put up good years in the past, but he's been injured a lot in the last couple of years.
Yes, he has.
But I think with Zay Flowers coming in as the number 1 guy, I think he's not gonna have as many targets, which is gonna allow him to be healthy.
So he's not going to have as many targets.
No, because he was getting.
It's going to allow him to be healthy.
He was getting overused before, but now he's going to be like. Now I think he's going to get that like 6-7 targets a game, like you were talking about. Because before he was getting like 10.
So still enough targets. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you. I got you.
So him is number 5.
Right.
Number 4, I have David Njoku from the Browns. He had a good year, about 800 some yards. A lot of touchdowns.
He's a beast. He just looks imposing, man.
Oh yeah,
Dude
we
is a
saw him. We
beast.
saw him a few years ago with the Ravens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They played the Browns.
We did go to that game.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I'll be taking you everywhere, dude. Man, wow. All right, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
He's number 4. I just ruined them all. But yeah, he put up some good numbers. Think he's gonna have another good year. So shout out to him.
All right.
Number 3, Sam Laporta from the Lions.
Detroit.
I had a good year for a rookie last year. Jared Goff gave him a lot of targets. Hit him in the end zone too. Had a lot of yards. And St. Brown, him and St. Brown are gonna beast next year. So
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Sam Porter at number 3.
Detroit Lions champions.
Number 2, I have Travis Kelce from the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh,
What do you mean?
Travis Kelce. Isn't he like 60?
Well, he was putting up 900-some yards last year in 15 games. But I can't remember how many touchdowns. Yeah, had a solid year. But he is last year he didn't have a great year for Travis Kelce standards. So I have him as number 2 and not number 1.
Is he still wearing the creepy stash?
I think so. He's going to the training camp with it. So who knows?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Number 1, I got George Kittle from the Niners, the number 1 ranked tight end last year. Only tight end to put up 1,000 yards, about 6 touchdowns, and with how loaded the Niners are, I think he's less likely to get injured because of all the people Brock Purdy has to throw to. So
yeah,
he's a great number.
Pretty
1.
durable. He's a durable guy. So you need your tight end to be healthy. You need everybody to be healthy, of course. But yeah, he's a durable guy. And everyone's getting a closer look at him at the Receiver show on Netflix, which definitely want to check out. Check out, by the way, if you have not watched that. Also, man, hey, shout out to Kings in North Raleigh, North Carolina. So we will be filming there September 7th, opening weekend of football. We'll be live. Our show will be starting live again at that time. And really excited, man. We'll be making all of our week 1 picks, talking college. We're going to have some amazing guests on. It's going to be great. So shout out to Kings, man. Thanks for showing us love. We appreciate you. All right. Cool, man. Well, okay, good list. And then we'll get into our do not draft after that. I'm going to give you my top 10 tight ends for your fantasy team, and then my top 10 ranking, I'll say, because some of these 1 or 2 of these guys might be on my do not draft list, but I still have them ranked a certain way. So I'm going to give you my top 10 ranking is what I'm going to give you. All right. So number 10, I've got David Njoku. All right, from the Cleveland Browns. The dude looks like a superhero out there. Is definitely a solid guy, stays healthy, puts up big numbers, and got him as my number 10. Would be fine if I don't pick up a tight end until middle of the draft. And if I end up with him, I'm fine with that. So I've got him as my number 10. My number 9, I've got Cole Kmet from Desmond Clark's Chicago Bears. Shout out to Des. It's a great tight end of the Bears who joins us for every week of our NFL shows. Cole Kmet, I think, would be a great pick. Like you said, the quarterback, Caleb Williams, he will need that security blanket. Man, interesting.
Stays healthy too.
Yeah,
he's 17, I think, all 4 years.
He stays healthy, and I think that Williams might have an issue adjusting to NFL speed because he released the ball. He had a very slow release in college.
Really?
It took him like over 3 seconds. He had the luxury, let me say, to hold on to the ball like well over 3 seconds.
Okay.
Well over 3 seconds. And in the pros, it's like 2.2, right? And
especially with not the best O-line.
Right, and Caleb Williams also threw a fair amount of picks, okay, which you've had, other quarterbacks who've thrown a high amount of picks in college. I think Mahomes may have also. That, come into the pros and are great. So I think he's going to be a great quarterback and has great weapons. However, by having less time to throw the ball, I feel like he is going to rely on that tight end a lot, especially early. So I've got him. I have no problem with him being my starting tight end, and I feel that you can get him later in the draft. So I love that. I've got Dalton Kincaid from the Buffalo Bills, yes, as my number 8.
Ooh.
Again, there ain't no who. Ain't no who. You have some who's on your roster. This is not a who.
Name a who on
this
my
is
roster.
You got some who's. You got some who's. You got some who's on yours. Yeah, you overreached with some of yours on here. But no, this guy. So Josh Allen. Okay, it's not have Diggs. It's gonna spread that ball around even more. Okay, so Dalton already had a decent season with Diggs dominating the ball. He only had a couple last year, but that's going to grow this year. By not having Diggs put his hands up and cry for the ball, More balls are going to go.
Diggs
to
looked like
Dalton.
a great teammate in Houston.
Yeah, Diggs, let me tell you something. If I have a chance to draft Diggs, I'm drafting Diggs. Diggs is going to have an amazing season, so that's not a shot at his production. I picked Diggs his first year going into Buffalo because I knew he was going to be a beast. So Diggs is going to be a beast this year. So two things can be true, okay? He can kind of hurt the team after his second and third season, all right? And he can be great the first year or two. So Diggs is going to be phenomenal. But anyway, back to Dalton. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. I think he's going to put up big numbers. And he's one of those gems that you can get later in the draft to be your starting tight end. And then people are going to have him rated super high next year. See, we're giving you those guys, the guys to draft. All right.
I didn't see Sam Laporta on your list last year.
Oh, I'm sure he was on my list. We will have to go back and check. We'll have to go back and check last year because this is our third year giving our rankings. You know what I mean? So yeah, if somebody had him high on the list, or even just on the list, period. But yeah, I'm sure I had him. We'll have to go check the tape, but I'm sure I had him. Okay. All right, number 7, I've got Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens. I see him again. He's hurt a lot. And I think the ball's going to be spread around even more, so he's not going to get as many targets. And their backup tight end does very, very well when he's in there. Gives similar production. So I don't trust Mark Andrews to draft him high. If you can get him later, if he slips in your draft, great. But I just wouldn't take a high pick, and I would not draft him anything higher than the 5th round of your draft, or 6th round, really. I just wouldn't take him any higher than that. Number 6, I've got Travis Kelce as my number 6. Yes, my number 6
Let these
tight
guys win another Super Bowl.
end. Hey, they may very well win the Super Bowl, okay? But I'm not going to get fooled by them Kansas City chiefing the regular season. I'm not going to get fooled by him being hunched over, going super slow, catching a 2-yard out and falling down or whatever. I'm not going to get fooled by that. Yes, I'm sure in the playoffs he'll be a beast, but in the regular season, I see his numbers coming down even more. I think Chiefs will still be great, but as far as his numbers, again, as high as you're going to have to take Kelce, I'm not taking Kelce first 3 rounds of the draft. There's no way I'm doing that. All right, so I've got him at number 6. Number 5, I've got Kyle Pitts. Okay, I've got Kyle Pitts. Yes. Now you may say, what in the world? He was just highly touted coming into the league, and numbers wise has not lived up to it at all. Okay, but I've got him rated higher because I feel that he has a quarterback that's going to get him the ball. They're going to be much better on offense this year. Their division is awful, and I feel he's going to have a ton of opportunities. And the timing would be amazing if he just all of a sudden now broke out, okay, to then get paid in a year or so. So it all just makes too much sense, okay? If you look at what's probably going to happen again, he's got Kirk Cousins. Cousins had, Hawkinson looking great and other guys.
Hawkinson was great in Detroit too.
Well, true. But he also had a really good quarterback there. But I think Kirk Cousins makes his receivers and tight ends look great. I think this is the magic potion that Kyle Pitts needs. So I would be fine with him being my starter this year. And I feel that people are down on him, so you can probably get him later. So I think that would be a good steal to get this year. Number 4, I've got Jake Ferguson, the Dallas Cowboys. No, it's not high at all. I got some special intel. I'm down here in Dallas. I was at his locker yesterday. Got some good vibes, and I think he's gonna definitely be.
Good vibe. I was at Trey Lance's locker too.
You got some good vibes on Trey Lance. That's funny. But Dak loves to throw to his tight end. We know that. And I also feel that I think he's going to throw to him a lot more this year. CD going into, is holding out for his money. I feel that he will get his money, but we know what can happen after a holdout and you get your money. That's all I'm saying. So,
CD were talking. Well,
I think Ferguson.
That wasn't how you were talking when you had your receivers list. You had him number 2.
Yeah, I had him ranked number 2. Okay, as far as ranking, but
So what? So what does that mean? Number 2 is a pretty good receiver. That's what I.
He's a phenomenal receiver. I love CD. I might buy a CD
But
jersey.
why would you rank him at number 2 if you wouldn't want to draft him?
Because that's everybody that's high on my board. If I have concerns, especially drafting that high, if I have any concerns about you, and you're someone that I'm taking first round, second round, I might skip to my next person if I feel that they're going to be durable and put up similar numbers. You know what I mean? So, no, if I have a chance, I'm taking Tyreek over CD. There's a couple other people because I'm just leery on this year. But we'll get to that. That's more in the do not draft list. We're getting off topic.
How you were sounding on the receiver episode.
We're getting off topic. You're trying to divert. I'm not going to let I'm not going to let you trump me like that, and I am going to stay on topic. Let me get on to my number 3. This guy's trying to divert us here. We're not going to let that happen. Do not be divisive. All right. So number 3. My number 3 tight end is George Kittle. All right, George Kittle. He's durable. What's up, man? You got a problem?
Number 3.
Yes, number 3. You're going to see who my top 2 are, okay? But number 3, first of all, he only had how many touchdowns? Okay, Big Man, since you want to rattle off
6.
I don't know if he had 6, but
he 6,000 yards.
Yeah, no, he had yardage wise was great. Okay, Kittle is 3 is not bad. Okay, number 3 is good, but the Niners. First of all, I think the Niners are going to have a down year. Okay, and the ball's going to be spread so much to where Kittle is not going to put up. Yeah, he'll have his weeks, but it's going to be inconsistent. He'll have weeks where he's featured, where he's going to be great and he's going to win you some games. Okay, but as high as you would have to take Kittle, he also is going to have weeks where he doesn't put up as many and it may cost you. So it's not like a steady stream like my number 2 and number 1 are going to be steady, always going to give you something. So you're fine. Kittle is going to be more up and down, so that's why I have him at 3. Okay, it's a game of margins at this point. Okay, well, I'm about to tell you who's left. My number 2 tight end, Jacksonville Jaguars, Evan Ingram. Okay, he led the league in targets for tight ends. Okay, had about 100.
I had him last
year. He had about 143. Okay, well then
him and Tyreek.
All right, and Jacksonville's going to be much better this year. So he's one that gets a ton of targets. You're going to get bonuses. They're going to be better this year. That division's down, and he is going to be like Laporta last year. He's going to put up big numbers. He's the guy, again, that you can get later, and he's the one that will help you win your league. Help you win your league, get rings. Understand what I'm saying? Get trophies like I have. He's the one's going to help you do that. All right, well, that's because you had other trash people. So that's what if you drafted every position like you drafted at tight end.
Evan Ingram, Tyreek, Lamar.
Well, my goodness, who else did Tyreek got hurt? Who else did you have on your roster then?
Devontae didn't have a bad coach for the first half of the year.
Devontae, you messed up with that one.
But now he has a good coach.
And you probably had awful running backs. Who were your running backs?
I think he got hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. All right. See, so I'm giving you great knowledge. And okay, let's get to number 1 because then we got to get to the do not draft list.
I'm getting off topic, man.
Hold on.
Come on.
My number 1.
Stay on
okay, topic. My number 1 tight end is Sam Laporta out of Detroit, the Detroit Lions. Man, it's funny. I was watching a documentary on the Lions last year. And I was like, man, this guy's catching like every big ball because you get caught up in Amon-Ra St. Brown and all that he does. And then it seemed like every time they needed a big catch, a big TD, he was also one that was scoring for them. So, yeah, he's going to have a monster year. Cannot go wrong. And he's got a quarterback that's going to fling it to him that's very confident right now with Jared Goff. So I've got him as my number 1 tight end. You can't get caught up in the old guard. You can't get caught up in Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews. Okay, it's evolved. Okay, got to wake up.
You got to see it.
You got to go with Laporta as number 1 tight end. All right, so that's our list, man. So definitely follow mine, and you will be winning that trophy. All right.
If you draft Evan Ingram in the third round, second round, then
No, I'm not saying draft in. Okay, my rule is
someone's
don't.
going to look at it, and they're going to draft Evan Ingram number 2.
Well, that's on them, okay, if they do that, because I'm also telling you to not draft the tight end until probably 7th round. Okay.
Right,
so,
cool.
hey, follow that and then go by my list on who's rated highest from there, and then you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's all you have to. I'm giving you the test. I'm giving you the test ahead of time. All right, that's it. It's basically cheating. Okay, this show should be banned from what we're giving people. All right. All right, so now let's go to our do not draft list. All right, so for do not draft, we each have 5 players. Give us a 5 to 1 who people should not draft. Again, these are people that may be rated high, okay, but we've got question marks, and you might just want to skip to whoever's next on your list. Who's your do not draft?
So, number 5, I have Brandon Ayuk on the Niners. He had a very, very good year last year. Was 7th, I think, in receiving yards. Had a few touchdowns in there, a lot of touchdowns. But he did request a trade from the Niners. He hasn't shown up to Niners training camp. He basically hasn't touched a Niners uniform or been in the building since the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's saying something. And number 4.
Well, he
hasn't been as consistent in the past. So,
I agree with you for him being do not draft, but he permanently is do not draft for me. So
okay, so he's just saying that because he drafted him 1 year after he was good. The first game he didn't play because he was hurt, but he wasn't put on the injured list.
Man,
so
I was
he's just sad.
Yeah.
But you can't judge people by that one game.
He burned me so bad, and that was the 1 year. This was a couple years back, where there was one analyst who was really high on him, had him as a sleeper. It was like, oh, you got to take him. And I normally don't listen to outside opinions when it comes to this. And I did on that one. And then he had an awful year.
And the next
just
year it went
messed
crazy.
me up. Yeah, he did do well next year, but I was so burned by that. I'm like, I'm never drafting him again. So he's on my permanent do not draft list.
Cool, awesome life story, man. Right. Number 4, you got T.J. Hawkinson on the Vikings. Put up a great year last year, like number 2 in receiving yards, tight end, number 3, something like that. But like I said earlier, his quarterback situation isn't that good. So and he's got Justin Jefferson. So yeah, I don't know with him. Okay. Number 3, you got Bijan Robinson from the Falcons. He was ranked number 2 or 3 on the ESPN list.
ESPN loves him.
Yeah, I'm not that high on him. I think he was number 1 his rookie year. But
that was crazy.
Yeah, he didn't live up to the hype last year.
Nope.
Didn't put up didn't even get to 100 rushing yards. Wasn't that great receiving. I think he may be a little better next year because I think the Falcons will be better as a team, but I still wouldn't draft him because you have to draft him pretty high. A lot of people are high on him. Number 2, I got Breece Hall. Breece Hall, I think he's number 1 or number 2 on ESPN. One of the most
ESPN has him number 2. Number 1 is Christian McCaffrey.
Arguably the most overrated player I've ever seen in my life in fantasy. Hasn't shown anything. His successes fully depend on Aaron Rodgers, who I'm just gonna say it, he's next on my list. So
Breece is rated very high. I'll just say that.
Do not draft Breece Hall. Do not draft him. I'm just saying. Don't do it. You will lose. Okay. Number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. Also a Jet. He tore his Achilles on the 3rd play of the season.
He did do that.
So I don't. So other than that, he hasn't played in the Jets uniform. So I would not trust Aaron Rodgers, especially if you want to draft him as your starter. No, don't do that. Red flag.
Back up, baby. If he slips far enough to back up, okay.
I would take him not a high backup. If I'm looking like 9th and like low for a backup, I'd definitely take him, but not as a starter for sure.
All right. Okay, cool. No, good list. Yeah, that's the whole point of this list. Again, there are people that are going to be rated high, but we got reasons not to.
Some honorable mentions real quick. Justin Jefferson and Kyle Pitts are also my honorable mentions.
Ooh. Okay, now I get Justin Jefferson because he's even making comments that he's worried about getting hurt again. And he got his money. So
He did, and his quarterback.
So that's like, so definitely.
Kyle Pitts, he only had 3 touchdowns last year. He's never been healthy, and I just think he's gonna let you down. So
No.
I just see he just lets you down every single year.
This is the year. It's almost time to try to get some money. This is the year. I would draft, but I feel you. All right, okay. So my top 5 do not draft. Number 5, Anthony Richardson. Okay, now you may say,
that's a good one.
Yeah, now again, some people may say, hey, okay, well, he's not rated high enough for me to even put him on my do not draft list. But no, ESPN has him as the number 5 quarterback.
Number 5. How many games did he play last year?
I don't know.
Like 6?
I have no
5?
idea. So do not pay attention. That is banana in the tailpipe. Do not pay attention to that. Let him prove it for a year. But if you are taking him, if you're taking him as your starting quarterback, I don't know.
Luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. I would. Yeah, I would pass, and there's plenty other quarterbacks you could take. You know what I mean? So I
take C.J. Stroud over him.
Yeah. That saying
a
something for you. You're the ultimate C.J. Stroud hater, being the Panther homer that you are. All right, so number 4, I've got Mark Andrews, tight end for Baltimore Ravens on my do not draft list. Again, he's not been healthy lately. That back end tight end, the backup tight end. Whenever he gets in there, he looks mighty good. And they just have so many weapons that as high as you would have to take Mark Andrews, I wouldn't do it. I would not take him in the first couple of rounds of your draft. No way you win. Number 3, I've got Travis Kelce on my do not draft list. Again, as high as you would have to take him, I think that can really tank your roster. Hey, one of these years, again, last year was a down year for him, but still decent. For fantasy numbers, it wasn't bad, but at some point, he's getting closer and closer to that cliff, and I see, falling off of that cliff very soon. All right, number 2, this one pains me to say this one, but I'm just looking into what will probably happen. I've got Christian McCaffrey on my number 2 do not draft. The reason I say that is because, again, started off 3 phenomenal years with our Panthers, man. It was great, was durable. Then had a couple of years where it was not durable, was banged up and whatnot. And then the last 2 years has been solid, but has carried the ball a lot. I see the 49ers having a Super Bowl hangover like they did a couple of years ago. And they've played a lot of games, and this is where injuries typically catch up. So, again, to take McCaffrey, you're going to have to take him probably in first pick, second pick overall in the draft. Yeah. And if you miss with the first or second, because it's a long time before it comes back to you. So if you miss with that pick, your season's over.
Yeah.
And I just have too many concerns about him staying healthy through another season. Hope he does. Hope I'm wrong. But I would pass and go on to I would get Tyreek. I'd get one of these other super highly rated people that will probably be more durable. So he's on my do not draft list, unfortunately. I say that with a heavy heart. And then number 1, oh, man, this is crazy because probably going to buy his jersey today. I've got CD Lamb.
CD?
I've got CD Lamb.
You're going to be cheesing and taking a picture.
I'm cheesing. We were at his locker yesterday. We'll be cheesing.
No, come on, man.
Man, I hope I'm wrong, but just all the signs point to it, man. It's, hey, Cowboy player holding out for his money. It's not at camp. It just reminds me of Zeke. Zeke,
years ago. Zeke is a running back.
He is a little different. He is a running back, man.
Hey,
but
now he's back on the team.
That's not a when you miss camp and you get paid and show up. But first of all, just being the number 1 rated player in a position, the number 1 rated receiver, which he is the number 1 rated receiver on most lists. That person typically does not have a great year that year. Like I can go back the last 5-6 years. It's just what happens. Whoever is number 1 rated guy normally doesn't. And the fact that he's holding out and then will get paid, it is just not a good sign. So again, there's plenty of other receivers that I feel are safer bets for that first pick is where you'd have to take them. So I've got a red flag there, and I've got to put them on my do not draft list. So that's my list, man.
CD.
I know. It's crazy. All right, man. Well, hey, we've got a lot more fire shows. So this concludes our fantasy shows for the year. So we are having our draft. We have our Pick 'em Pros Fantasy League. We're drafting Saturday night, August 24th. So those of you that are in the league, we've already got your spot secured. We're going to be sending you a link to go ahead and sign up and get ready for the draft. But our draft is going to be in 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks from today, we're having our draft. That's going to be a lot of fun. And so the following week, I don't know what that'll be, August 30th or whatever, 30th, 31st, our show will be footage from the draft. So that's going to be cool. So we'll actually show footage of it and show everything. So that's going to be really cool. But for the next few weeks, we're going to go ahead and give our predictions for the conferences, tell you who's going to make the playoffs, who's going to win the Super Bowl. And we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. And then we'll have some other controversial topics that we'll be talking about.
Track.
But it'll be primarily football. Yeah, probably touch on the Olympics. Track and field's about to get going, so that's going to be cool. Team USA, all that stuff. We got a lot of cool things to talk about. So yeah, and last but not least, shout out to Gary Clark, our guy, Johnston County's finest. Played in the league in the NBA, played overseas, has been a guest on our show multiple times. Great guy. We were at his golf tournament, so congratulations on him for creating the Gary Clark Foundation. Gave away 150 backpacks to kids in the local Johnston County area of North Carolina, Clayton and Smithfield primarily. Just a great guy. We're at his dinner, and then we're at his golf tournament. So, and he just signed, man. Signed. He's going to be playing in Japan this year. So we'll be following him. And man, hopefully we can get out there and check him out. Really excited about that. So a lot of great things. So appreciate you, family. Check us out next week as we will be back. We're going to get on and continue to enjoy Dallas. And then you got football practice starting on Monday, man. So we got to get you back for football. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for that, man.
Okay, you've been training with Rome, man. Shout out to your receiver coach, Rome. He's been doing a great job with you, throwing the ball to you. He's also the coach of the women's flag football team, the Gridiron Gang, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. So Pick 'em Pros is a proud sponsor of that team. We got our logo on their black uniforms. So we'll be showing you that soon, and we'll definitely be checking them out. So shout out to them. All right, man. Let's get on out of here. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, Pick 'em Pros.